Hi, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Kara, and this is a channel where I'm documenting a 1 year long low buy project that helps me keep a tight budget, which helps me to pay off my student loans. And this year just got, of course, pretty financially interesting. Um, I have a goal that I still would like to achieve. In the year 2020, I'm trying to use 75% of my net income to pay off my student loans. And I have succeeded 1 month so far out of this year. I pulled it off in February. I didn't make it quite in January. In January, I used, I think it was like 68%. And again in March, I used around 68%. Um, but in February, I pulled off 76% of my net income used on debt. So, of course, as you know, if you're a human on planet Earth right now, there is great um, physical security questions. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and most people are trying to stay home, stay out of public as much as possible. And I hope that you are able to be somewhere safe and to minimize your contact with other people. Um, and then there's enormous financial uncertainty as well. And um, yeah, that's that's what we've been dealt. And there is no quick and easy and painless thing that will fix this. I'm glad that the United States recently has had, of course, the CARES Act pass. And I mean, okay, so we're going to get $1,200 at some point, maybe in the next month or so. But I know that most people are in states where they need to stay home through the entire month of April and possibly into May, which means like if you're not making money in that time, if you can't go to work or if your work is radically altered, $1,200 really isn't going to go anywhere, and we might need help again. And I'm going to be curious and open-minded about what happens. But as I said a couple weeks ago when Congress was deliberating about all of this, I have a general practice of keeping my expectations low, and you know, so far keeping low expectations sort of pays off because then I am ready for what I need to do. Anyway, strange way to start a video. Hello, I hope you're well. And usually what I do is I pick a theme for the month and then do 3 or so videos about that, and then the last week of the month I check in with what I managed to pay on my loans and what percentage of my income that is. So for April, I wanted to share a few kind of more tangible resources and tools that keep me motivated on my journey getting out of debt. And today, the one that I want to share is something that I'm actually not done with yet, but I've really been enjoying it. And um, yeah, it's been really cool. This is how high tech we are. Um, there's an online course created by the Choose FI Foundation, and FI means financial independence. The Choose FI Foundation is like a couple of guys and a team that has eventually pulled together to create resources to help people get organized financially and set your course and be able to build the life that you want. Um, and so they made this online course, and I saw it on a Facebook page that I'm part of about financial independence. And so I signed up and I took it. And anyway, here's the website. It's academy.choosefifoundation.org. And you can just sign up with an email address and create a password. And then there are 11. There are 11 lessons that guide you through what does financial independence mean and how you can kind of plan your monthly budget, how you can evaluate what the expenses of your life are, and what you would need in order to become financially independent. And it's really inspiring because um, even on a really low income, I was able to use this course and make a bit of a blueprint for myself where I know if I um, if I follow through, I will get out of debt and I will be able to build more of the independent life that I want. And it's actually going to be very simple for me because my aspirations are quite modest. Um, and so it won't take as long to save up and create what I hope for. And I also don't really want to retire in a 100% sitting on my butt at home sense. I do want to be productive and maybe always have a small amount of income, which is awesome because I like doing stuff and why not make an income? Um, and at the same time, it reduces the amount that I need to have invested in, some giant fund that, like, no, like I'm not gonna have that. But I don't need an enormous nest egg. It just won't take me forever and ever and ever to build a fund that would actually support me since I want to have a very modest, small lifestyle. So I'm realizing that it's a partly cloudy day and the light is going to drastically change while I do this, but that's what I've got to work with. So daylight it is. So I'm really enjoying this course. I have finished 9 of the 11 units, and they're wonderful because there are videos to watch and there's text to read that are virtually the same thing, but that is really nice because if you are more of a reader than a watcher or listener, the information is shared in a few different ways. And then there's also a resource page at the end of the lesson where there are PDFs that you can download and fill in. And I've used a few of those and I like them. I haven't used them all, but I did download them all knowing that if I wanted to think about this more in the future or needed to kind of reevaluate some part of my financial plan, they're helpful tools. And then they also always have a resource page at the end of the lesson where there are episodes of podcasts that are relevant and blog posts that are relevant. So you can find a lot more information and take your time to kind of digest what might be a new idea. While I took this class, they were still uploading the new lessons, and it was almost like watching a show in real time where you actually have to wait for the next episode. But I took a couple of weeks off, and now they've posted everything. And so gosh, look at that light change. So I looked ahead, and the very last thing that they have you do, I'm really excited to get to this. The very last thing that they have you do is put all of the lessons together and make your own blueprint, and then also write a policy for yourself for investment decisions. And I love that because and they've even put up a little blurb on their website. We had this planned before the pandemic. I love that because having a plan that includes surprises, you can't predict what the surprises are going to be, but if you're a human being, you know that life is going to have surprises. So if you can make a plan that accounts for the fact that there will be surprises, there will be setbacks, but you've made a loose plan, an idea of what your response will be and what is something that really derails your plan and what is something that just changes the route temporarily. I love the idea that I'll get the chance in another couple of days, I'll get to that lesson. And since I don't really have any skin in the game right now, it will be really interesting to make that plan at a time when so many other folks are panicking, looking at the impact of the pandemic on the plans that they have had. I will not be able to fool myself in any way that my financial plan will be ironclad for life. But what I will have is a plan that from the very start I've known and am living in a big example of. You need a plan, but you also need it to be flexible, and being able to stay the course and get where you want to get means making a plan when you're not in a state of panic. I'm looking forward to that opportunity. I really recommend this. I'll hold this up one more time. This is how high tech we are. I just really have enjoyed the class, and all of the sessions have been enlightening. Some of them were ideas I was already pretty familiar with, especially the first few. But then they moved into more intimidating topics, at least for someone like myself, where they explained a lot about investing and they explained a lot about insurance, and they're getting into more about like taxes and then sort of more of the big picture stuff that I have always known I needed to learn about, but haven't really known how to pursue even. So I am just very appreciative for the people who put this course together, and I recommend it. I absolutely recommend it. academy.choosefifoundation.org. Get yourself signed up. It is very straightforward and helpful, and you can adapt all of this information for your own life and purposes. I know that financial independence isn't what everybody wants, although I don't really know anybody who wants dependence. But it's adaptable to whatever your goals in life might be, and there's just great planning tools and resources to consider. Overall, my life this month is not too different than usual. I do work at a store, which is considered essential, and so 5 days of the week I'm getting up and going to work. To me, I feel very strongly about doing my job well and making that store a good place in this community and in this town, a place where people feel safe. We just got sort of like plexiglass shields put up so that our cashiers and customers are safer. And I know that our custodial staff person has been working extra hard coming in throughout the day and doing his usual night cleaning, just doing everything we can to make sure that this place is clean and safe. So that feels good to be in a company that cares about that. My work stays the same. I'm ordering and filling the shelves, and supply lines are still stressed. And so if you go to stores that you enjoy and see empty shelves or empty sections of shelves, it is a temporary situation, and it's important to have what you need, but it's important to not shop excessively, because you might have the budget to buy a ton of stuff all at once, but the person who is shopping 6 feet away from you, they might not have enough money to buy everything they need all the time, all at once, and they might only be able to get one or two things at a time. And make sure there's something there for each other. Be mindful of fellow shoppers and people with different budgets than your own. Yeah, it's been interesting to work at a store. It's been pretty exhausting, to be honest. But I'm proud of the work that we're doing, and I'm glad that we've been able to put up as many new safety features as we can in this time. What else is going on? I did a lot of writing today. That felt great. I do have lots of side projects of writing. I do 2 blogs, and I've been kind of stuck mid-series writing on each of them. So I've nearly finished one today, which felt great. And I also went outside. It's finally sunny. It snowed and was cold and just gross for like the last week. But today the sun came out and it's been in like the 50s. It feels so good. So I took a long walk today. I was out walking for about 2 hours and just enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air and the fact that the world is not ending, but maybe a world is ending. Maybe a way of being is changing, but it is not the end of the world. Take care of yourself. Take care of people around you. Do everything you can not to spread COVID-19, because you could carry it and not know it. So you should assume that you have it and protect everybody from yourself. That's how I'm operating. And I hope that you are having a great week. I will see you next week, and I will share maybe more about the Financial Independence Academy, or I might share about another resource that I've enjoyed, because there's a lot. Thanks. See you next week.